Hello, this is King Rhodes TN with my AGDQ 2020 submission of the Great Circus Mystery starring Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Before we start this run, I wanted to give a quick background to the game. I do not believe this game has been ran at AGDQ yet. However, I know it was ran at ESA 15 by Alcon, and I would like to be able to show this off here at AGDQ. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the run. Alright, so now we see that we're going through the title screen here. So this game was made by Capcom. And here's our title screen. So we're just going to hit one player and start game. And then the time will start on character select. So when I select the character, that time is when it's going to start. There are 3 difficulties to this game. There's easy, normal, and hard. Normal is the default difficulty. Basically, the difficulty is just change the number of hits on the boss that they can take, and a little bit of enemy positioning does change there. But this game is your standard platformer. We're just going to pretty much running through the levels, jumping on various things, jumping over enemies on enemies, and so forth. This first part of goal is not to slow down at all. We're going to jump over the Jack-in-the-Box. We're going to hit off that balloon to get over this other Jack-in-the-Box and keep going. So our speed does not change whatsoever. So all these levels here, they have a mini-boss and a final boss in the level. So we've reached the first mini-boss here. It's a guy that throws his little the balls of fire. So our goal is to basically 3-cycle him here. I'm going to jump off of his nose twice and then hit him when he throws. So we do 2 more times, and then we're going to hit him when he throws. So that makes 6 hits. And then we've got 2 more hits on his nose, and we're cleared. So that's the first mini-boss already. Okay. So then our next section here, we're just going to run over till we get the first of 3 costumes. So there's 3 costumes that we can change. Well, technically 4 if you want to call Minnie's outfit normally is her costume, but we don't ever play as her now without a costume from here on out. So the first costume is a little vacuum cleaner outfit. So now we also see Donald for literally the only time in the entire game that we're going to see him here. So we're going to backtrack to where we just came from very briefly to some blocks come from the sky so we can get on top of the tent. So this next section, we've got 3 enemies in the balloon. So we're going to try to jump off the second enemy here. We got that, and avoid the balloon, because if the balloon hits you, it will drop 2 spike balls. If you hit the balloon, it just pops like normal. So now we're on this trapeze section that's swinging back and forth. We're going to use our vacuum cleaner, and we're going to suck up this enemy. Spits out a coin. We don't care about coins, and we're going to keep going down. So we're going to walk down the little netting here, and we're going to stop when we jump straight up, because it will run into that little Pete-looking guy there. We're going to jump over off the second enemy and into the final section here. So then that's our boss sitting in his little trailer. So now his trailer is going to come over to us, and he's going to break out the top. So now this is RNG. All of the bosses are pretty much RNG based a little bit. So I've gotten a little bit of rough RNG from the beginning. So you can't hit him when his hair is spinning. So our goal is to shoot enough just so his nose becomes available. If we don't hit any, then his nose will not be poked out. So therefore we can't do that there. So we're going to keep jumping off of his nose, and there's the first boss. So now we're going to change our outfit to normal Minnie here, because it allows us to walk straight into the next cutscene here. So there's not really very many cutscenes if you call it a cutscene. This ghost is going to give us our second of 3 outfits here. So now we would normally have to change our outfit back to normal Minnie before we change into our jungle outfit. Alright, but since we changed, we can just walk right up to her. So now we got a jungle outfit that has a hook, right? So our hooks can hook on those things that you see above us, those little gray circles. It also can hook on vines. So we're going to just run straight through this level. We're going to try to maintain our speed when coming off this vine here. If we keep jumping enough, we can maintain faster speed instead of, which almost would be considered a running speed, because there's actually not a button to run in this, which is fast unlocking, but I just missed that tech there. Now we're into the second mini boss. So it is a turtle. So the turtle comes under the water. He has to jump out here. There's a little RNG with the turtle from when he's going to come out. He can only come out every other cycle here, I guess you'd call it here. So you have to hit him once. He always comes out the first time, and he always stays underwater the second time. So he does a little spinning water attack, and he can't hit you. So the third one, he will always jump out for the third one. So I'm continually bouncing off his shell, get him in the head quick. Now, our goal is for him to come back out of the water here again. He could stay under the water, or he can come out. So this right now is good RNG. Now, after he comes out the second time in a row, he'll never come out 3 times in a row. So now he'll stay back under the water. I'm just going to stay on top up here and then bounce off of him because you can't get hit by the water spray. So whatever side I'm on is the side that he's going to run out at. So I kind of switch very quickly so I avoid taking damage there. Hit him again. And again, we want him to come back out of the water. So we want to get another fast cycle here, but he stays under the water and we can't hit him. So now we got to start it. Kind of starts back over again. So now we're waiting for him to come back out one more time. We're going to bounce off a shell, hit him in the head. And then we've got one more hit left. So now, again, we want him to come back out of the water. That would save us some time. If he stays under the water, we would lose a little bit. So he pops back out, bounce off a shell, quick hit in the head, and there is the turtle mini-boss. So now this is one of the few sections in the game that we have like some really, really speed movement tech. So you're meant to go like back and forth in the tree. So we're just going to run all the way up this tree here. Not taking damage. Take damage from that snail. Jump on the body of the snake, off of the spiky vines, and into the next section. So again, we're supposed to walk from one side to the other. So it was very, very good movement there. So now we're going to go into the final section. So we're going to go all the way down because, again, this time you're supposed to ride the vines left to right. We know exactly where we're going to cut it, and I can drop for the safe spots there. So this spot makes me wait a little bit. You could theoretically damage boost through towards the end, but we don't here. So you got some like toxic gas that is being thrown up. We also got flying squirrels. As you can see, that flying squirrel cannot hit you because he goes underneath the map for whatever reason. They have him programmed to do that. And that's our platforming for the end of that. So now we are into the final boss of the jungle. So we got a giant ape here. So the ape can do a few things here. He can turn into a ball and jump back into the top of the screen. So now our goal is to get right against the wall and I'm going to jump into us 8 times here. So if we get all 8 jumps into us, that's perfect RNG, which I believe we do get here. And as I hit the 4, I'm going to change. So bad RNG, after he jumps into you 1 or 2 times, he can change into a spinning ball and go up into the top of the trees. We definitely don't want that because it just takes him longer to get damage. So that was a phenomenal fight there for what we had. So now we change outfits again, and now we get our last outfit, our little cowboy outfit here. So it comes equipped with a little pony that we ride and a gun that we can shoot things with. We also found Pluto, so it's the only time we're going to see Pluto until the end of the game here. So now, the good thing about this game is all the enemies will always stay in the exact same spot. It's not one of these games where it's frame dependent. It's just basically when they appear on the screen, will always appear on the exact same spot no matter where they're at. So some speed tech here. We're going to wait for these skeleton guys to come out. If you hold up B with your little pony, then you get a charged attack. So we charge attack across the gap there. Charge attack under him. Charge attack under him again. And then we're through the next section. So now we're into this boss fight, this mini boss. It's a painting of Pete. Now with the painting, he can do one of 2 things. He can either shoot fire at the ground or he can make these books attack you. We want him to shoot fire on the ground because it adds a faster animation and a faster attack. I don't know the percentages. I would assume it's 50-50. That hasn't been like discovered if one's going to happen more than the other. I feel like we get this attack more often than not. However, it is what it is. So we get a good fire blast there. So he's going to shoot these books with his eyes. The books come attack you. Just jump off his face, hit the book, and you're good to go. You can time it through the middle to completely eliminate the fire animation, which would be even faster than that. But it requires like really, really precise timing. But a very, very good fight. I think we were about 50-50 on that. So now we change back to our jungle outfit because this section requires us to grab these lights. These lights we spin back and forth. It rotates the map and it rotates us to where we're going to go next. So I think there's 4 lights here. We're just going to jump on, rotate a little bit, keep swinging back around. We got one more light, and after this we're going to change back to our cowboy outfit, which we've already switched back to in the bottom of the screen. So when I hit the ground, I can immediately switch. I shoot a ghost, shoot another ghost, and we go on. So on this platform, there's 2 more sections before the boss, so I took some damage there that was not intentional. We shoot that guy with a little candle guy. We cannot jump on the candle guy because his head is lit with fire. So we want to shoot them out of the way so we can just walk past them, shoot the ghost there, and we're in the last section before the boss. Now this is like a cycling stair section, so you can charge in a few spots here, and then we just want to keep jumping around back and forth. So we're going to jump over those spiky broken tiles on the ground. We're going to keep moving, jump off of this platform again, right in front of the candle, get over it. And this time we're going to jump over the candle head guy. We're going to make our way up these little stairs here, and then we're into this next boss. It's a giant flying ghost. So that was not intentional death. Didn't hurt tremendously, but again, that was not intentional. We took our damage here. So you just got to shoot the ghost when he appears, and when you shoot the ghost, you can do that. If you time it just right, which is very, very hard, you can get your gun, your little pop of the gun, to go through his little fire wheel and hit him inside the fire wheel. So it's even faster of an attack. So we got a couple more hits here, so he just keeps disappearing off. Now, I do want to mention the good thing about this game, if you were to get game over, so we will not experience game over in this run here. If you were to get game over, you don't start from the beginning, you start from the last checkpoint in the last level that you had played. So there are some strats that you could game over in certain spots and you don't lose any time whatsoever. So you know if you're running low on lives, it's easier to game over once you reach a certain checkpoint. So you're only going to lose the time from the game over screen, which is not a huge, huge time loss. But that's the final boss there. So that was stage 3 of the haunted house. Alright, so now we don't switch at the end of that level because it automatically switches for us when we go through this. So what happens is Minnie jumps out of the haunted house down a rope, and the rope like breaks and we fall into this cave. Okay, so now we're in this cave and we want to be in this outfit anyways because we have faster movements through the part. So it kind of wants you to be in this part to get up here. For whatever reason, it switches us into this. I guess it's more of the cutscene per se, but it wants you to switch back to your cowboy outfit, which would give you the ability to break these yellow blocks. However, we're going to completely avoid that. Now, you only lose time from your changing animation, so it does save time to stay in your jungle outfit. So we're going to stay in this specific spot here. We're going to automatically take damage because the screen's scrolling off, and then when the screen completely scrolls off, it throws us up right in there, and we can just keep moving on. So that's one of the few quote-unquote tricks in the game that we're going to use. However, it does cause a death, so you lose a life for that. So when you lose a life, it just puts you back in the middle of the screen, and once we lost at the bottom of the screen, it put us back in the middle of the water. So instead of having to switch back to the cowboy outfit, and this part when you need the jungle outfit again, you save the time from switching the outfit 2 to 3 times. So we're going to jump over this guy here, and we're into the next. This is the first checkpoint this level. So now I switch back. I don't switch back. All right, I just run through the spikes guys here. So this is also designed to be the cowboy. So you're supposed to shoot those crystals there, and they come down. So we just damage boost our way through this because it's still faster than switching costumes back, because then you have to switch back again in that spot there. So we want to stay in her jungle outfit as long as possible. So we go up here, we jump off the wall twice, jump over, and now we finally switch back to our cowboy outfit, which is required for this boss, or it makes this boss significantly faster, this mini boss. So he's on a jackhammer. So I'm just going to keep shooting him, and then when he gets close, I jump off of his head. Try to do it without taking any damage. Obviously, we took a hit there. So this is a little bit of a slower fight. Just poor execution on this fight from just that standpoint there. But we finished the boss, and then we're going to switch back to our jungle outfit to finish the level. One thing I didn't mention when we did grab a heart. So when you grab a heart in this game, you can actually get an extra heart as well. So on normal difficulty, you start with 3 hearts. On hard difficulty, you start with 2 hearts. And on easy difficulty, you start with 4 hearts already. So there's certain hearts in different levels that you can grab. That's the only heart that we're going to grab that will allow us an extra hit for that. So now we stay in our jungle outfit up to this point. Then we use our charged attack ability, so when we hit the bottom, we can charge into this boss fight, which would save us a little bit of time. So it speeds us up getting into this fight. So now we're in the final boss for the caves. This boss is just a giant dinosaur. So on its back, you're going to see it has its little scales, I guess you would call them scales, and they come to life. So he comes out, I'm going to shoot him in the nose or jump on him depending on where he's at. The faster strat is to always have 2 up that I've noticed. So when there's 2 of those guys up, he comes out more often. Now, just like the turtle, he can choose not to come out. So this is a little bit of RNG based, not as bad as the turtle per se. So we've got good RNGs. He's come out every time he's supposed to come out. So essentially when he stops, we want him to come out. So just like there, his tail came out, then he comes out. So that's 2 more good hits there. I believe this boss takes 10. So I always hit one of the guys to allow them to have two roaming around. Again, for some reason, when there's two roaming around, he seems to come out more frequent. When instead of when I've killed everybody, then he just literally like never seems to want to come out. So I always leave two out at least, jumping around. Now he shoots a little bit of like it's not gas, it just air from his nose that pushes you back. So now we're going to change. Now this was an accidental change. I'm not supposed to change there, so that was a mistake. You may be able to see by my expression, I'm like, what am I doing? So I'm not supposed to change there because I want to start this section in my cowboy outfit, which takes me all the way through the mini boss because it's you want to do the mini boss in the cowboy outfit. Really, the first 2/3 of the levels in the cowboy outfit. So I try to go through this with the jungle outfit and then realize this is not going to happen. I take 2 hits early. So then I need the cowboy outfit to break those blocks to get an extra heart because I would like to have a heart, to have at least 3 hearts for the boss fight. This mini boss coming up is my least favorite mini boss of the entire game. If you catch the cycle correctly, you can catch that to where, as you saw, I just kind of swam into that section. If I'm too slow for that first part, then I won't catch the water and you have to wait. All the hearts are always in the same spot as well. Those icicles always fall in the same spot as well. So as long as you do everything the same each time, you have an idea of what's going on. So you have your little enemy that's inside this little spinning spike. If you jump on it when he's not out, you do take damage. So you can only wait when he's out. Then at the top of the water, he throws these little spike balls at you. So if you're right underneath him, you will also take damage there. So it's all about timing for what you're doing. He does take the least amount of hits, and I timed them just right. So when I killed him, it was the water was going up. Sometimes you can kill him and the water's going down, and then you have to wait even longer, or decide to change costumes to your jungle outfit to climb up and then change back. We want to be the cowboy for this as well because we can charge through the water, which makes it a little faster. Now, it wouldn't be a game without a swimming level. Swimming level is very, very short, very, very easy. I am also going to grab a 2-up here momentarily. So if you just, in this game, you just go over a certain spot, you get a 2-up. So I went through that spot right there, which gave me a free 2-up there. So I didn't have to go out of the way at all to get it. I always do that for more to kind of be safe as a backup, to have that extra life there. So now we're going to switch to our jungle outfit to platform through this section. So this is one of the final platformings in this level here. So we're going to use these our silver balls at the top of the screen to kind of swing to and from certain areas there. So we're going to completely skip over that spike section there, jump over these couple of crystals, small jump so we don't hit the ceiling there, another small jump to jump all over that, jump over that crystal, and then we're into the final boss. So now we are finally using the vacuum again. So the only other time we're going to see the vacuum is right now. So this cloud guy can be a massive, massive troll. So this is very, very RNG dependent. So we want him to move down and fly away. We don't want him to attack. We don't want him to disappear. So he's come down twice. So now he's disappeared. So if he disappears 2 or 3 times, he can regain size. So he can basically add a hit back to his box, and there's not a thing that you could do about it. So this is the only part that's very, very tricky. So I've gotten 4 or 5 quick cycles. There's one more now that we're down to 1 more hit. So I want him to come straight down. Now I've noticed if I've gotten frozen, sometimes he comes down. I feel like it may trigger him to come down sooner because, hey, you got frozen. So he can hit me more. If you hit the cloud guy, if he runs into you, you don't take damage. You just get frozen. So the only way you take damage in that entire boss fight is if you get hit by the lightning bolts. So now we're into the final level of the game. Okay, so now we're going to get our only cutscene. So we're going to Pete's castle here. So you'll see Minnie pop up. She's looking for Pete because he's been ruining our circus with all this magic and stuff like that. So we got to find Pete, and we finally got to defeat him here. So that's the whole premises of this game, is to find Pete. So we cannot skip this cutscene. So there's our bad guy Pete hiding in our castle. And now we're going to the final level. So we switched to our jungle outfit because it's required to platform through this first section. So we got to go over fire now. I take damage here on purpose. I jump up for the spike ball, so it pushes me to the right, and I use my invincibility frames to get past the candlestick head. Because if you get hit by the candlestick guy, he'll push you into the fire, and that's actually an automatic death without even taking anything there. This section, if you time it just right, you can completely pass all the spike balls. You don't have to wait for any of them at all. So that's our first platforming section, and now we switch to our cowboy outfits. So now I'm just going to walk past these two, jump off the one, and as I'm jumping off the one, I'm going to start charging up my charged attack here in 1 minute. So I jump on top of this section and charge all the way to the end. I have to jump over that platform into this door. This door allows me to fight these two mini bosses. So we're getting the first mini boss, and I think we're getting the third mini boss. So we get our fireball guy again. So I just shoot him when he's off screen. So he gets shot more than jumped on with this phase here. So I keep shooting him, wait for him to throw it. Boom, it's already over. Faster than even the first fight there. And then we're going to go back down here. We're just going to walk past these three ghosts. They activate right when you get past them into this door. And then we're fighting the painting Pete's portrait again. If I can speak, it's like a tongue twister. Pete's portrait. So now, again, it's the same thing as before. He can either shoot fire or he can shoot, or he can, give a demonic look to these books and make them become alive. So we're just waiting for 8 more hits here. And again, we want the fire because that's a faster animation than for him to go through this. We get this, jump on all the books. We keep going side to side. We don't want to be on the same side as the books because you won't be able to jump up and hit him there. And again, you can jump straight through his face, but that requires very, very precise timing. So I prefer to stay on the side and just go around him just a little bit. We got a good streak of fire. So that's also very, very nice. And that is our first half of this level. We're going to change back to our jungle outfit to finish the platforming. So it requires us to then, now we are introduced to these blocks with arrows. They move in the direction that you stand them on. We got these guys that shoot fire. I'm going to jump to trigger the fire higher so I can walk underneath it. If you just walk straight, the fire will block your path and you'll have to wait or you'll take damage. So it's very important to jump there. I activate that block so I can get that section and jump over that. Now we get our cannons. They shoot when their eyes are open, so it's important to know when they're going to shoot and when they're not going to shoot. I took a little bit of damage, but when I took damage, I was kind of in between jumping on the wall and stuff, which allowed me to not take the damage animation. So now I changed my outfit. You want to change your outfit when you're in Pete's animation so it doesn't require you to stop the game and change your animation outside, and he continues his animation of putting his outfit on, so it works better for us to change inside the final boss room. So you got to shoot his head a few times, break his little crown, and then you got to jump on his head. So that's the first cycle. So we're already done with cycle 1. And the final cycle of this boss, now what we want to do is we want to shoot and jump. Now I pretty much shoot him more times and jump on his head. I'm more comfortable with shooting him in the face. So I believe it takes 8 hits to shoot him. So you can shoot him pretty much quick back to back. He just is going to shoot fire out at you, and you just got to keep dodging the fire there. Now he can go off screen. When he goes off screen, it will not register your hit if you were to hit him. I think we're down to like 2 more hits. That's the last one there, and time. So its last time is on the last hit, and that's the final fight right there. A 22:43, which is pretty good. Had some pretty good RNG. RNG could have been a little bit better, but in general, this is an average run. This is obviously my PB, but most of my runs land between 22 and 23 minutes. So our estimate is going to be 25 minutes. Now we're back with everybody. We get our ghosts that have given us 2 of our outfits. Pluto's come back all the way to us. We've got Minnie and Mickey. We've got Minnie with our crystal ball that has caused all of this heartache and allowed us to not go to the circus. So then they're telling us, oh, hey, you saved us from Pete. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then momentarily, Minnie should just kind of chuck this ball out of space. I mean, Minnie has been lifting a lot for her to be able to do this. So they almost forgot about it. Even they're holding their hands. Hey, we almost forgot about your crystal ball. You want to play catch, Pluto? Too bad it doesn't show Pluto like running off in the sunset here with this here. So when we're done talking, talk, Minnie comes out there and hiya, chucks it like across the world. I don't know how, but see you bye. All right. There goes the ball. So that was the Great Circus Mystery starring Mickey and Mickey. Mickey and Minnie. I appreciate you watching this submission video. Thank you again for all of you guys that you do, and I hope this game gets in because it'd be fun to show off, and it's a relatively easy speedrun to pick up. So for people that are trying to get into speedrunning, to me this is a very good place to start for what they're doing. Alright, thank you guys.